Some sort of hair. Starting to regret my decisions now.
I'm not 100% confident.
Hi everyone and welcome to the latest video. We're going to be working on this old, what appears to be a table, but this is actually a sewing box from between 1830 up to about 1860.
I don't think that's accurate.
That's when the manufacturer used to make these. This is the inside, which we'll go into in a bit more detail shortly. This was very kindly given to me by my neighbour Diane, and this was her husband's Tez. It was his mum's and they just didn't have any use for it. It'd just been sat there doing nothing. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I've got a bit of inspiration from a trip myself and Emma took back in May, which was to celebrate a birthday, and I saw a piece of furniture there that gave me a bit of an idea. So I'll show you more about that in a second, but as always, sit back, relax and enjoy, and thanks for watching. It's made from, obviously because it's shaped, the likelihood is, without looking into it, it's plywood. And it's veneered, and it's veneered in an oak veneer. The top is probably something similar. This is likely to be solid wood. I did mention in the intro that it was 1830 to 1860. Obviously I've corrected that mistake by now. 1930s to 1960s. So I'm guessing this is going to be wood rather than an MDF or something like that. But again, this may be solid or it may be veneered. The top has lost all its finish. You can see the difference in colour, and that's basically, it's lost all its finish. There's probably a bit of sun bleaching in there as well, so we need to sort that out. The legs are really nice. I want to do something with these legs, so I'm hoping I can take these off. Again, the finish needs redoing, but they are fairly solid. The only real damage I can see so far anyway, other than the finish failing, is there's a chunk of veneer missing from the back, so we can sort that out. I think as well, and I'll show you this in a second, I think the hinges might be strained because they don't look like they line up. Hopefully it's just that they're loose, but I think they might have been stretched. This is the bottom, and it's got a number on. It's either a model number or a batch number, 112, but I'll show you it's actually got a manufacturer's mark. So it's got a little catch on the front which isn't lining up, so that's what I mean about the hinges. I think the hinges are a bit twisted. But inside, this is where this sewing box thing comes in. Now this is lined with this yellow silk. The glue has failed, so it's coming off. Same with the top. Now I'm not too bothered about that because the plan I've got for this is it's not going to be a sewing box. I know there is some people that still do sewing and probably would like this as a sewing box, but that is quite a small number of people, so I'm going to do something a little bit different with this. This is the manufacturer's mark, which I'll show you. The manufacturer's mark is Omorco. If I remember rightly, I'll double check this, but if I remember rightly, I think it's an Italian based company. I'm going to try and retain that because I do like having the original maker's mark on there. The hinge, or the catch should I say, is really rusty, so we can sort that out, no problem. I'm going to go out on a limb now and say I don't think this is going to take me a long time to do what I want to do with it, but I do say that quite a lot and it generally takes a bit longer than I thought, but hopefully this won't take me too long. The reason I'm saying that is I want to get this done before I actually go on holiday, so I can release a video whilst I'm there. So if all goes well, you'll be watching this when I'm sat on a beach lounger in Mexico. So wish me luck. I don't know whether you can tell here, but if you look at that hinge, it's pretty much 90 degrees, where this one, it tilts out that way. That end's splayed out, which is why the lid's not shutting straight, so I might be able to just bend that back into place. Right, it's time to undress it. Right, it's got some staples in there. Another one. Ooh, this looks to be like some sort of hair. Not 100%, but I think it's horsehair. So we'll get rid of that. Yuck. Okay, so this is what we're left with. I'm starting to regret the decisions now. Look at the state of the glue in this. I'm hoping I'll be able to remove that glue. I want to make my life easier, get these legs off. Now they have got screws, which I assume they would have, underneath that material. I'm just hoping that they are simply screwed in and not screwed and glued. I think they're glued because this leg doesn't feel like it's falling off. This would have been a lot easier to take the legs off. I'm going to try and heat it a bit. That way. Right, I've been at this a little while now. There we go. Just twist it. Tiny little bit of tear out there, but good stuff. I need to try and tackle the inside of this. There we go. Right, let's see if this does any good. I'm quite excited. I've actually found what appears to be a better way. I was just using steam and scraping before, and it was still leaving quite a lot of residue. So what I've noticed is if I steam, show you. But then, instead of scraping, I use dry heat. And it's not sticky. So I'm very pleased with myself.
2,000 years later.
Right, I've finally got all the glue off, and that'll teach me for saying this is going to be really quick. I'm going to scrape this piece now, but obviously I don't, if I can avoid it, I want to try and keep away from this, which is going to be tricky scraping, so I'm going to try and remove this and put it back on when I've finished. Try a little bit of heat just to loosen the glue, hopefully that'll work. I think this is a water transfer. Right, let's test my theory. Yeah, it's done absolutely nothing, that. It's really, really thin, this sticker or whatever, transfer or whatever it is, and as soon as I try and peel it up, it's just tearing. Right, I've made the executive decision. This is just not coming off. It's not essential that I leave this on, so what I'm going to try and do is just let this dry now, and I'm actually going to try and scrape around this and see how it looks. If it looks terrible, it's going to have to go. But I've tried. Hopefully I can keep it on, but we'll see. Okay.
Then it all went wrong.
Right, I've just messed this up now. Look, I put this on supposedly to protect it, and as hard as that was to get off, as soon as I put some masking tape on, oh, it's just ripped it. How annoying is that? Oh, there's no way I can get that off there and put it back on. Right, well, there's nothing I can do, because that was so hard to get off. I didn't think for 1 minute that just putting a bit of masking tape over the top of it would pull the sticker off, but it has. Anyway, right, it's going. That's so annoying. Okay, before I sand everything, I need to do something with the inside of this piece, because it's just plywood. Obviously it was covered up previously with the material. I'm not putting material on it. I was going to just sort of clean it up and stain it and see how it looked, but I've had a thought. I've got a lot of this. These are pieces of old teak chairs that were damaged, and it's solid teak. So I'm going to cut some thin strips of solid teak, and I think I'm going to try and line the inside. So I was going to do like a gold leaf or spray it or do something, but I'm going to give this a go and see what this looks like. Watch. She'll entertain herself for about 30 seconds and then she'll come and sit next to me looking at me because she'll want me to play with her. No idea what's going through that pea brain. What are you doing? Is he? You're a superstar. Change tactics, look. She's been in the house and brought a ball in for me. What have you got? Have you got your ball? Have you got your ball? Ready? Ready. Steady. Go. Good catch, Daisy.
Years later.
I'm going to need more than that. But that's what that, safely, that's what that one piece has given me. Right, I've cut 2 lots now. That's off one of those pieces, and that's off a different piece. It's all teak, but the likelihood is the grain pattern's going to be different. So rather than putting a row of these in and a row of them, and I'm not going to the trouble of doing every other one, I'm just going to get these together, mix them up and put them in randomly. So, give them a shuffle. I've no idea if I've got enough there. I've done
sort of calculation how many it took to fill that and then times it up, but if I need to cut more, I can cut more. I've got more of this wood, so just to stick them in now. The first one is the most important piece because I want these to be obviously perpendicular to that. Is it that what the right word is? Yeah, perpendicular to that. So I'm going to start roughly in the middle. It doesn't really matter where, but this is the top edge. So I use the top edge. I'm going to line it up flush with the bottom and leave the top overhanging because it's going to be a lot easier to trim the top than it is the bottom. Okay, let's get the first piece glued in. See where that is. Yeah, that's good. Let's clean that. Okay, I'm just going to leave those to dry just so I'm confident going forward that this is going to work properly. Right, what I found is I am having to clamp it, sort of. The centre bit is doing okay, but the ends are sort of peeling away. So I've just got to clamp them down and just do it in stages. So I'll carry on doing that, leave that for 10 minutes, do the next one. Right, finally getting to the end of a very long process. I mean, I hope this looks nice when it's, obviously, it looks terrible at the minute because it's full of glue and it's all uneven and it's got cut marks in it, but when it's finished. But I'm showing you this, and honestly, I'm not making this up. I've no idea how many to cut. That's what I've got left. And that's what I need to finish it. So I had exactly the right amount. Obviously that one needs cutting down, but yeah. Luck was on my side. Right, that looks great. I'll just leave that to dry. Hopefully it dries nice. Finally. Okay, looks like it's glued okay. Obviously it's going to need a bit of clean up, which we'll do now. And there's Mabel, my good friend next door. Okay, before I start on the inside and getting all that nice and smooth, I'm just going to do something else because I'll need to leave that to dry. Right, I just need to fix this little bit of veneer, and it's actually taken away some of the plywood underneath. So I've got some of this oak veneer, albeit new. I'll probably have to do a couple of layers of this. So I'll just clean this up. Okay. Right, I'm not too sure what I'm doing with this centre bit yet, but I'm going to give it a sanding. I'm using 240 grit because this veneer is quite thin. As you can see, there is a bit of a mark there, so I'll have to try and disguise that. Forgot I didn't actually scrape anything off this, so rather than just going with the sander now, I'm going to give it a bit of a clean with some white spirit or mineral spirit, whatever you want to call it. Quite like that colour. Next, I'm using this thinner sander just to get into these edges. This is going to take some time, so I'll get back to you shortly. I thought this would be a quick one. Right, finally finished the sanding and it's come up really nice actually. I've got to do a finish sand on it, but I've just got rid of all the glue and smoothed it off. You can see there's a couple of tiny areas, two there, one there, where I haven't buttered it together properly. I've got some teak filler. Okay, leave that to dry. I'm not sure what to do with this bit. This obviously had material in and it's rebaited in. So to get veneer in there and cut it to that shape is going to be pretty tricky. So what I'm doing at the moment, I'm just cleaning it up and seeing what the grain pattern looks like. Obviously it's different than that, which doesn't really matter, but obviously it's not the most attractive grain, so I'm just going to clean it and then have a think. Luckily this fits right into there. You know what, that's not terrible. Obviously it's not veneered, it's just a natural wood, but it's wood, it's got a grain and just a few holes where the staples have been, so I can fill those. But yeah, it's turned out okay actually. I think it will when it's finished. Right, the inside's done. I'm really pleased with that, it's come out really nice. It should pop as soon as I get the colour, the finish on it. Solid teak. Just do the outside now. Okay, I scraped all this off earlier because I wanted to keep it because it had just had that number on, but it's sort of coming away a bit, this look, and there it's damaged and it's really brittle, so it just looks a bit rubbish. So I've got this old backboard which is in good condition, so what I'm going to do is just cut a new piece out. Done it in pencil and I can hardly see the line. Goodness me. Right, let's try again. I've gone over the line with a pen. Right, it's time for the inspiration that I got for this piece. It's time to do that part now. I have been messing about off camera, trying to sort it out. I'm not 100% confident this is going to work, but I'm going to give it a go. The inspiration came from a trip me and Emma took just down south in the UK for a birthday. Lovely country hotel. And they had some really gorgeous pieces of furniture, and this came from that. So I'm going to try and replicate this. Like I say, I'm not 100% confident, but let's just give it a go. Right, for this next piece, I'm going to use my laser. Now the problem I've got is I'm actually going to put an engraving on the top of this. the top is too big for the laser. Now I cannot put it in underneath, but I'm going to have to do the engraving in 2 parts, which isn't ideal, and I'm just going to have to try my best to make it look good. So let's go for it. Right, I'm just going to commit to this. I've been faffing about trying to line it up and everything, so I'm just going to go for it. That part there, and it's got to go all the way to the bottom of the top. That part has taken 10 minutes. It's going to be a late night. Here, this is just white spirit, mineral spirit, to get rid of the dust, but it should give me an idea of what the inside will look like. Nice. Okay, so apologies for the background noise, that's the laser going. I'm going to do a 2-tone on this. Lots of you know I like a 2-tone finish. So I'm going to do it in a teak. Now, obviously this is solid teak. I'm not going to stain this. I'm going to stain the outside and the bottom, which will be inside the piece. It's never going to look like original teak, but it might be a similar tone, so that's what we're going for. Obviously I can't do the lid at the moment, because that's in the laser. Just need to make sure I don't put my hands on the inside, put dirty stain prints on it. I'm just giggling because Emma's just come in about 5 minutes ago, and the park's about a 5-minute walk away, and she said to me, I'm just going to take Daisy for a quick walk before it starts raining, and it's just started hammering it down. So she's not going to be a happy bunny. Don't tell her I'm laughing. For the legs, I'm going to be using an ebony. Now I know some of you don't like the black stain. I love it. And there's a reason why I'm doing it in this. Because the engraving is going to be very dark. So I want it all to balance out. The laser's still going, an hour and a half it's been going. So I haven't fixed the hinge yet, but I'm just going to put these rusty screws and hinges in this rust bath. Just leave that overnight. Finally, half of the design has been lasered onto the top. I had no idea it'd take that long. I've never done a design this big before. It took over 2 hours to just design half of it, to engrave half of it. I was out till late last night. It's the next day. I'm going to start the other half now. I won't show you until it's completely finished, so we'll just crack on with that now. Again, apologies for the background noise, it's the laser. Those eagle-eyed of you will have noticed that when I clad the inside with this teak, I covered up the screw holes for the legs, so I just need to drill those through now. I'm just putting this piece of wood underneath just to try and avoid any splintering when it comes through. There we go. nice neat holes. Right, I can get the bottom back on now. Right, I just need to get these legs on, and like an idiot, even though I marked them before, with all the staining and sanding and stuff, I can't even see the pencil marks. Right, 1 on, 3 to go. Right, I've got all the legs on and it's nice and solid. So these are in the right place. I've got to take them back off again now and just add a little bit of glue behind them and then screw them in. So I'll do that off camera. Right, it's finally finished, and there it is. It needs a bit of extra stuff doing now. Right. Right, I'm not too sure why, but I did use the same settings, but obviously I've had to join this, and you can see it's a bit lighter on the lower bit than it is on the top, and it's drawing my eye to it and it's annoying me. So it's a step I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to use a bit of ebony stain and just feather a bit of black in. If you can hear that noise behind me, I'll show you. Right, happy with that now. The only thing left to do now is start putting everything back together again, and then just a few finishing touches. So I'd like to say a massive thank you to everybody that supports my channel by watching these videos, leaving comments, hitting the thumbs up button, which is really important to the channel. And for those who use the super thanks button and the buy me a coffee link, I really do appreciate your generosity and your support. If you like these types of videos and you aren't already, please hit subscribe. It's absolutely free and you won't miss future videos like this. I'll be thinking of you all as you watch this video because I'll be sunning myself in Mexico and drinking a few little cheeky cocktails. But as always, thanks very much for watching. I really hope you like the end results. And we'll see you on the next one.